evening and welcome back to another week of fantasy football coverage. The competition, it's heating up and our league has shown us everything from dominant wins to nail-biting heartbreaks, and the power rankings are shifting and every team's performance, it's under the microscope.
That's right. Now, some managers made the right calls. Others might still be second-guessing their lineup decisions. But hey, that's fantasy football, am I right? I mean, you spend all week crunching numbers and stats and everything, and then your kicker will drop 18 points. I mean, like he's trying out for MVP. You just can't predict it.
No, you cannot. My name is Ricky Francis. I'm joined here by Evan Palea. This is Aruga's Fantasy League Power Rankings Week 4. Evan, take it away.
Let's get right into it. Now, for the fourth week in a row, we have my partner, New Jersey 69ers. Let's cut right to the chase, all right? It's not getting unlucky with getting outscored, as every other team this week would have beaten the 69ers. Something just is not clicking. Nico Collins' receptions can't stay consistent. And what's going on with Derrick Henry? Why is his backup running back, Justice Hill, who is on the bench of Team Poopy Fart, outscoring him by over 20 fantasy points? And now, why are the 49ers allowing 26 points against Trevor Lawrence and not getting a single sack? I mean, the star player of the week, tight end Tyler Warren of the Colts, putting up 18 points. Now listen, he did have 70 yards and a rushing touchdown, which was pretty nice, but luckily, the return of criminal Rashee Rice is just around the corner. And with Pat Mahomes finally finding his spark again, we could just see some consistency. But hopefully it's not too late for those playoff hopes when the time comes in Week 7.
Absolutely. I'm hoping as well. Now at 13, we have a faller. Too Purdy it hurts moves on to a 2-game losing streak after the loss of Tyreek Hill in a season-ending injury. This team could be getting into some real dangerous territory. While Too Purdy it hurts has CeeDee Lamb coming back, hopefully Week 6, who's going to replace Tyreek now? Will Brian Thomas Jr. find a permanent starting spot? Only time will tell, Evan.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say? Now listen, coming in at number 12, all right? Forget everything we said about Ashton Gianti last week.
Forget it all.
Forget it all. 33.5 points and 3 touchdowns, 138 yards. Maybe this is what this rookie running back needed to get this team going. But unfortunately, not to rain on your parade, it was not enough to pick up the Week 4 win against Madam Presidents.
You're absolutely right. Speaking of Madam Presidents, Josh Jacobs popped off for this team, scoring 2 touchdowns, 86 yards, and receiving for 71. Heading into Monday Night Football, Presidents had quite a large chance to take over in her game with Dobbins and Broncos defense still to play, and they did just enough to secure a 4-point victory over Blame It on the Juice. Now listen, we don't want to beat a dead horse here every week, but I'm telling you, this team could potentially be in an undefeated situation if they took Puka Nacua at 9 and Josh Allen at 20. But instead, she sits at 2-2, and we'll hope to see consistent performances from Josh Jacobs and anyone else that decides to show up for her.
That's right. Now here at number 10, we have Team Snides entering a win streak. Week 1 and 2 looked really, really bad for Snides, all right? Low-scoring games, some players with minor injuries, losing his starting quarterback. But Week 3 and 4 showed Arugas that Snides is here to play. Even with several single-digit performances, Pickens was able to make up for it. 134 yards receiving and 2 total touchdowns, totaling to 33.5 fantasy points. Snides was able to stay in it this week. Now in the Sunday night matchup between the Packers and the Cowboys, going into extra innings definitely helped boost that score up.
Absolutely, it did. At 9, we do have Team McKenna. Now, Team McKenna is one of 3 teams to not break 100 this week. Okay, Patrick Mahomes he's starting to look like Patrick Mahomes again, especially in his matchup against the Ravens. He put up 270 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. But the 101, first overall pick, Ja'Marr Chase, is just doing nothing. Okay, he's now scored a single-digit point in 3 of his 4 games. I mean, he's without Joe Burrow, but does this player even have a chance of a value on this team anymore? I mean, might we start to see some other managers attempt to trade for Ja'Marr Chase? It would be a bold move to attempt, but it could be worth a shot for some managers in desperate need, okay? Other than Pat Mahomes, his kicker Chase McLaughlin of the Buccaneers put up the most points with 17, and that's saying quite a lot, Evan. It's rather unfortunate to see how things are playing out for this team with the first overall pick, but I mean, maybe we're figuring out in a 14-man league that's not where you want to draft.
That's right. I'm going to have to completely agree with you. Now listen, at number 8, we've got Team Justice Gang staying right where she was. And listen, a sad way to go out. Matching up against Team Do It Lady, Gang wasn't able to outscore. Gang put up 130 points, which was enough to beat 8 other teams this week. Benching wide receiver DK Metcalf, I'm sure you saw this one coming, seemed to be a rather costly mistake. A decision we know came from first place reigning champion Ridley Me This, Batman. Which begs the question, does Batman know ball? Right? Is his team just getting lucky and putting him up in first place? Now listen, put that all off to the side. Let's run some numbers here. All right? Starting wide receiver DK Metcalf over Trey Benson would have put Gang at 143, which is just an 8-point deficit. Additionally, starting RJ Harvey instead of Jordan Mason would have put Gang at 152, giving her the win by just 1 point.
Oof.
This leaves a difficult question for Gang. Who will find their way into the starting lineup?
You are absolutely right. Now, this does bring us to our top half of the power rankings. We have Bijan Mustard. Down goes our 12th overall pick. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors tore his ACL, and he will now be out for the season. Now, on top of that, just a miserable performance from A.J. Brown, who only put up 2 points. This week, Mustard did not have a single player break 20 points, but had 4 15-point performances, giving him exactly 100 points.
Now coming in at number 6, we have Kyle Pitts' season with Team Poopy Fart. This week, Team Poopy Fart's star found 5 receptions on 5 targets for 70 yards and a touchdown, totaling to 18 points. Jahmyr Gibbs, DeAndre Swift both put up decent numbers, and the Lions' just to defense put up 20 points, with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and only allowing 10 points to be scored. The weak performances from Olave and the extra weak performance from Ladd is what held back TPF from getting the Week 4 win. The nail in the coffin for this team, Justice Hill, who we heard about earlier, the backup running back for the underperforming Derrick Henry, and Romeo Doubs of the Packers, both putting up 30 points on the bench, which would have gotten the team the Week 4 win. Too bad, so sad. This team should have nothing to worry about heading into the upcoming weeks, except for making some better start-sit decisions.
I'd absolutely like to believe that, I mean, I wish you the best, buddy. I could also use some of that luck. Now at 5, we are approaching our top 5. Noah's Nasties, okay? Jordan Love popped off with a 337-yard and 3-touchdown game in the shootout against the Dallas Cowboys, all right? In the big win over the Commanders, Bijan Robinson puts up 106 yards receiving, 75 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. Once again, we see James Cook, who has been rumored to be possibly on the block, not on the trade block. He's been thrown around a lot, but you know what? He has now had 4 straight weeks of 20 points, which maybe that's why he's not moved. Okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. found the end zone late in the loss against the Seahawks, but the thing is, Nasties will be losing him in Week 5 following Trade 3. Going into Week 5, Nasty will hope to see a similar performance from Ted McMillan, who only put up 10 points in the massive loss against the Patriots.
Now coming in at number 4, we have No Balls Allowed. Well, just as projected in last week's podcast, No Balls Allowed has made the bounce back, putting up an incredible 141 points with multiple standout performances. And without Jaden Daniels, No Balls Allowed had Matthew Stafford step up to the plate. He had a near flawless game with 3 touchdowns and 375 yards. And Kenneth Gainwell? Well, he gained well over the amount of points needed to crush Team McKenna in Week 4.
Absolutely. This does bring us to our top 3. We have Team Do It Lady A big ol' happy birthday to Team Do It Lady manager Casey O'Neill. And what better way to celebrate than with the big win he had here in week 4 and to repeat as manager of the week.
Indeed.
He's really done it, lady. Proving to the league that he's won the trade. I mean, Travis Etienne, who was acquired in trade number 1, put up 19 points, while the player he shipped out, AJ Brown, only put up 2. Do It Lady had 6 of his 9 slots score in the 20 range or higher, and that is what shoots him up the ranks to where he is right now. I mean, Evan, this has been an impressive climb from Do It Lady, and we are all very interested to see, does this continue in week 5 and the weeks later?
Indeed, and in the past 2 weeks, it has in fact been the highest climb we've seen.
Absolutely.
Now coming at number 2, we have our undefeated teams. At number 2 is Poopy Fart's fiance. Another week, another win. An incredible performance by pretty much the entire squad. I mean,
Yeah.
The Baker and Bucky stack continues to prove to the league to be rather worth it. Now
Yeah.
listen, on just one play, PFF scored 28.2 points with a 77-yard throwing touchdown from Bake
Crazy.
to Irving. And 8th overall pick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, puts up yet another 20-plus point game with 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Bears kicker puts the icing on the cake. 4 field goals totaled him up to 19 points. PFF is looking like a really solid competitor this season.
100%, really solid. And unfortunately, I do have the honors of going up against this monster of a team this upcoming week. So wish me the best of luck, please. At number 1, staying at number 1, we have Ridley Me This Batman. Reigning champs still remain undefeated, closing out week 4. All right, with an incredible performance of 159 points, outscoring every other team this week. Woody Marks, who we saw have 12 total rush attempts in the first 3 weeks, 17 rush attempts for 69 yards and a touchdown. Now, that's not all. Add on another 50 yards receiving and a touchdown, okay? Omarion Hampton had quite a similar performance in terms of fantasy points, all right? And Puka Nacua, once again, dominated the league, putting up 36 points. Those 3 players alone are enough to outscore my New Jersey 69ers in week 4, okay? This week, we saw the return of Jordan Addison after his suspension, who had 4 receptions for 114 yards. The team remains in the number 1 spot and continues to look really, really scary and really solid.
Indeed they do. Well, here's a look at last week's power rankings, and here's how it all played out in week 4. We had some risers, some fallers, and some dead in the water.
Well, that wraps up this week's power rankings and recap. The standings, well, they're tight, and every move is starting to matter more and more.
And now, the real fun begins.
Oh, yeah.
Bye weeks are officially here, folks. Lineups are about to look like patchwork quilts, and some benches will be tested harder than the SATs.
Absolutely. Certainly for me. So buckle up, managers. From here on out, it's survival of the fittest, or at least survival of whoever doesn't forget to swap out their players on a bye. And trust us, there is nothing worse than leaving a goose egg in your lineup. Well, except maybe losing to the guy who auto-drafted.
So join us next Friday as we bring you our first rendition of starts, sits, and all things legit fantasy advice. I'm Evan Playa, joined here by Ricky Francis. We will see you then.